Finding yourselves on your back. So this is a wake-up practice, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to wake the body up, work from laying down to standing, and leave you feeling energized, clear-minded, and ready to take on whatever is coming to your day. So as we lay here, start to deepen the breath. And you might consider all the things that you have planned to do today, and maybe all the things that will happen that are unplanned. And think about how you would like to show up for yourself, for the people perhaps you work with, others in your life. And see if you can begin to take on that attitude and those characteristics. See if you can embody a little bit more how you want your future self to show up. Continue to deepen the breath. Reach the arms up overhead. And we're going to take a little side bend, so you might need to reach the legs long first, and then take the arms and legs over to the left. So you're doing like a banana shape on the floor. So arms and legs to the left, you're opening the right side of the body, taking some nice deep breaths there. Come back to the middle, go to the other side. And it's important here that we're looking to keep both sit bones, both parts of your hip on the ground, and both shoulders on the ground. Take another nice deep breath into the left side that's being opened. And then come back to center. We're going to send the legs straight up. And it's not important that the legs are super straight. They can have a little bend to them. That's fine. But if you can, reach the feet up. Make sure the lower back is being engaged and pressed into the ground. And then we're going to reach the hands up as well. This is like a standard dead bug inversion posture. We're going to bring a little bit more heat to it to wake up the body, starting from the very center of it. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, reach up with the hands towards the feet. Inhale to come back down. So these can be small movements right now to start. And as you feel a little warmer, a little more energetic, with each exhale, you can pump yourself up a little higher. Don't feel like you have to rush these. It's more important that we synchronize movement and breath. And maybe eventually you find that you can touch somewhere high up on the shins, or maybe you can touch the toes. Take a couple more. And then bring the feet down. Find bridge pose by lifting the hips up. And then coming back down. I think I have to let somebody else in. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so a little bit more core work here. We're going to pick the legs up like you're sitting in a chair. And you're going to press the hands in the top of the thighs. So this is as much effort as you'd like to put into it. You're going to press into the legs, and the legs are going to press back into the hands. And you might feel like you're shaking from the very center of the body. The belly is shaking as you turn on the core muscles more and more. And as we stay here, if you want to ramp up the intensity, but remember to keep breathing. Just because we're finding a lot of engagement doesn't mean we want to hold the breath. We want to try and flow with the breath as much as possible all the time. And then bring the feet back down. Finding another bridge pose to open up the front of the body. Lift the hips up. You can interlace the hands under and tuck the shoulder blades under. And press down for the feet to send the hips high. And through that engagement of the legs, you can feel the shoulder blades being pressed down into the floor and down the back. Lowering from your bridge pose. Find yourself coming up to a seat. If you'd like to, you can do a little happy baby and rock your way up. By the way, a lot of times I start practice, especially as it gets colder, with the sweatshirt on. And as I get warmer, it comes off. So feel free to do the same for yourself, so that way you're not starting cold. All right, finding a nice tall seat, reach the hands up. We'll find a twist, one hand behind, the other one, let's hold the rib cage. So I'll show you the other side. I'm holding the rib cage here. So that way, I'm not tempted to wrench myself from the legs. Instead, I'm going to engage a lot from the middle of the body, from the core. Squeeze the belly button to the spine. Feel yourself rise up a little taller. As you exhale, engage into the twist, letting the eyeballs wander back behind that shoulder. Nice big inhale. Drift back to center on the exhale. Sweep the hands up. Other side. That hand comes across the ribs again. Think squeezing belly button to spine to create a lot of space here in the lower part of the trunk. Each inhale you can lift up. Each exhale you can engage. Big inhale here. Exhale to relax back to center. We're going to come over onto the knees. And we're going to sit back onto the heels. A little chest opener as we reach the hands back behind us. You can prop yourself up on the fingers, or if you want to, come all the way down to the hands. And just stay here and breathe into the upper part of the chest to open the shoulders. And then you might lift the hips once. And then come back down, come back to vertical. And we're going to move through some kneeling cat and cow. So we can simply start with the hands on the legs. And as we exhale, round the spine out behind us. By the way, if sitting on your heels like this, in this kneeling posture, is really hard for your knees, you might pad something, like put a pillow, or if you have a bolster between the legs, this can help a lot to alleviate some pressure. So we're going to move through cat and cow, exhaling to round the spine out behind you. And as you inhale, come up onto the knees, rise up, let the arms come back behind you, and take a little back bend. Exhaling, hot arms sweep forward, coming down, finding that cat back. Keep going, moving with your breath. Take another round. And then from this kneeling posture, we're just going to walk the hands forward to find child's pose and let that torso drape over the legs. You can also take the knees wide if you'd like to. Here you can feel the forehead grounding down. Spend a couple breaths again, imagining
how you want to be today. How do you want to show up in both body and mind, in terms of energy levels, in terms of your attention? Come up to tabletop.
Take just a round or two of tabletop cat and cow. And you can even wiggle about a little bit more if you'd like to. Maybe you shimmy hips from side to side, just loosening up still. We'll find a little bit more core engagement in Sunbird. So right hand, left leg are going to reach out. Find a lot of length. And then making sure both limbs are lifted here. We might aim to get them parallel with the floor or higher if we want to create a lot of engagement in the back. Being mindful we're not locking out the left elbow. Being mindful also the hips here, we're not stacking the hips. We want them to be nice and level. We want them to be level and parallel with the floor. Stay here with the breath. If you want a little bit more juice, you can take the limbs out to the sides and feel how that really turns on the core. In particular, it might light up the shoulder and that hip to keep the limbs lifted. Come back to the center, pausing there before you sit the hand and knee back down. Other side, right leg, left arm. You might reach a little higher as you inhale. And then we can take the limbs out to the side. It's an option. It's not something you have to do, but it can create a lot of heat, a lot of energy. Come back to the middle, and then place the hand and knee down. Coming up onto the toes, come into a high plank. Find a strong, long high plank, press back through the heels. And then from here, just lift the hips to find down dog. No further movement of the hands and feet are really necessary, maybe a teeny adjustment. Once you find down dog, paddle it out. This early in the morning, legs are probably stiff, especially if you worked out yesterday. Paddling the heels down one at a time. You can take the hips from side to side as well. Sometimes it's nice to deeply bend into the knees and press the chest back towards the thighs a couple times. From here, walk the feet forward. Take your time. You can take little baby steps. And then find yourself ragdolled at the top of the mat. Bend the knees here. Rest the torso and the thighs. Box the head with the arms. And you can sway. You can shake the head up and down, left and right. Open and close the jaw a couple times. Scrunch up the face. And then maybe stretch out the face like you're doing a most ridiculous yawn. Slowly, with control, rise up. Squeeze from the belly to protect the low back. Hands reaching up as you inhale. Bring the hands to the chest. Find yourself standing in mountain. Pause here again. Take another nice cleansing breath and sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands back to the chest. Let's take a couple of forward folds, preparing for some sun salutations. Reaching up, folding as we exhale. Bend the knees. That way we're not overtaxing the back of the legs just yet, or the low back. Inhale for a little halfway lift to lengthen and strengthen the spine. Fold again. Rise all the way up. We'll go right for another one. Exhale to fold forward. A little lift. Exhale to lengthen again. And then rise all the way up. And let's do some full sun salutations now, reaching hands up overhead. Folding, planting hands on the ground. Maybe you lift first, a little lift, and then plant the hands, stepping back now to your high plank. Let's hold this. Nice strong plank. Strong shoulders, strong core, pressing back through the heels. If regular plank is too much for you and you find yourself shaking or you have a hard time breathing here, like the breath is coming in, it's like shuddering or it's shallow, just make it a little easier. Bring a knee down or two, that's fine. So now the arms and shoulders are feeling a little bit warmer. We're gonna slowly descend all the way to the belly with the exhale. Lift for a little baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet onto the floor so the knees lift up off the ground. Little back bend, elbows squeeze together. From here, let the knees come back down. Hips lift, press through the hands, through tabletop to down dog. After the third breath, as you exhale, step it to the top. Take a lift, folding, and then rising all the way up. We're gonna do one more, similar, very similar to that. Hands reaching up. Fold as you exhale. A little lift. High plank. Holding. Creating strength. And in that strength, also making sure the breath is continuous and smooth. Slowly lowering all the way to the belly. You might take a full cobra this time, keeping pubic bone in the ground, pressing in the tops of the feet. The arms here can help you lift up a little taller. Exhale to come back down. Press through hands and knees, tabletop to down dog. In your down dog, come up on the tiptoes and let the hips untuck a little more and reach towards the ceiling, then settle the heels back down. Just a little adjustment. Walking the feet to the top of the mat. Take a lift. Fold again. Rise all the way up. So now if you have your block, we're going to use that block. And we're going to place the block the skinny way between the legs, thighs, maybe the knees. As long as that's okay for your knees to press into it. You might try and tuck it into the thighs. And we're going to squeeze that block really tightly with the legs, create a lot of engagement as we sit down and back for our chair pose. So you can always start chair pose with the hands together. And then as you are ready, the hands can reach up. And if you have that block, if you don't have a block, sometimes a firm pillow will do. Keep squeezing the block. We're going to bring the hands to the chest. And we're going to do a little washing machine action and go from side to side, right elbow to the left knee. Inhale back to center. Left elbow to the right knee. Back to center on the inhale. Keep going. Twisting side to side. See if you can keep the hips still and make all the movement come from the torso. One more. Come back to your chair pose and then fold forward. Maybe more of a ragdoll. Take a little lift. Find your way back to down dog. You can flow through or you can just go straight there. Choice is yours. If you want to on your way there, you can do up dog. From your down dog, step the right foot forward. Rise up for a warrior one. Reach the hands up. Strong back leg. Lunging deeply into the front leg. Hips and shoulders facing forward. We're going to open this to a warrior two. Turn the side of your mat. Adjust your feet so they align with one another. Inhale here. Exhale, reach forward. Move into side angle. So if you see, I have one long line from my left foot to my left hand. Sometimes the hips might jut out and you just need to lunge more forward. Option here to come lower. Inhale to come up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Flip the front palm. Take it up and overhead. Inhale back to vertical. Exhale, reach forward again. This time triangle. Front leg is straight. Also another good opportunity to use a block here. If triangle is hard for you, you can put it on its highest height on the inside of the foot. From here, frame the front foot with both hands. Step back to your high plank and then over into a side plank on the left. Just for a couple breaths. In this side plank, you can always bring the bottom knee down or step the top foot in front of you for a little bit more support. Turning back over to regular plank, just find down dog again. Hips lift up. Pause here for a couple breaths. See if you can slow the breath. This time, left foot will step forward. Back heel plants for warrior one. Reaching tall, feeling a nice opening in the right side of the body, the front part by the hip and lower belly especially. At least that's what I feel. Turning this open to a warrior two. Align the feet. Take the gaze out over the front hand. Inhale as you reach forward. Exhale into that triangle or side angle. Option to come lower. Inhale, warrior two. Then straighten the front leg. Take the front palm up and overhead. Inhale back to vertical. Exhale into that triangle pose. Inhale to come back up to vertical this time. Just turn the front foot to the side. So you have a wide-legged stance, straddle. And we'll take a little forward fold, wide-legged forward fold.
Once you find yourself with the hands in the ground, by the way, to get the hands here, if you find the legs are really tight, bend the knees first, then plant the hands, then work to straighten the legs. They don't have to be straight. We're going to take a little lift, pause there, and then come all the way up. We're going to do another one. This time, a little bit of a shoulder opener. If you have a towel or a strap or a belt that you can bring to class, this can be great if the shoulders are tight. Just take it behind you and to give your shoulders a little bit more space for the folds for that shoulder opener. Take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, fold forward. This time with the hands bound behind you, letting the hands reach up and then fall away towards the front of your mat or whichever way the toes are facing. Inhale to come up. Take your time when you're coming up out of forward folds. It's easy to get very lightheaded. Walk the feet in a little bit, finding more of a wide-legged squat position. Sit the hips down and back. You can use the hands to support you as you lower here. And you can do a little shimmy from side to side. So first, we're going to find where we're comfortable, how far we're willing to settle down, and how far the hips, how much the hips are able to relax into this bottom position. And then help yourself back up slowly. And now we're going to move through a couple of squats, basically. Hands reach up as you inhale. As you exhale, hands come down through center, looking to touch the ground if you can. Inhaling, sweep the hands back up. Exhaling, hands come down to the ground, keep going. Now this can be very energizing. And if you want to incorporate some visualization, you can imagine inhaling everything that you need to take on your day. And then exhaling everything you don't need, whatever that is. And if you want to bring a little more energy into it, you can do it faster. Couple more rounds. And come back up to standing. Walk the feet in. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears with a nice inhale. Exhale, side up. Keep going, inhaling, squeezing them up. 2 more. Find yourself with the hands on the belly and the chest. Feel the heart beating, maybe a little bit faster. Close the eyes here and just stay with that. Feel the body responding to the activity, to you waking it up. Feel the body being alive and enthusiastic, feeling good. Slowing the breath down here so we can clear the mind and go peacefully about our day. So that concludes our practice this morning. Thanks for practicing with me. If you have any questions for me, you're welcome to stay on. Otherwise, I'll see you either next Wednesday night or next Thursday morning. Until then, take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.
You are welcome.